If Zendaya does not win the Emmy, it's because there's some fucking idiots not doing their fucking job.
The episode hit home in a lot of different ways for me. My mom was an alcoholic and I tried not to take it personally, but it definitely hurts.
Just take it one day at a time. And her mom looks at her and is like, yeah, okay, like cool. Like I don't know if she like understood like the full, like everything that was going on.
Like, bitch, what? She got what she deserved, and I wish Maddie would have did more, truth be told.
I need some goddamn parents to regulate up in here. I know this TV, but it was too many F-bombs and all this shit going on. Like, I would have been snatched up by my lips.
Cussing's the least of these parents' worries.
I'm a single mom of 3, and it's hard as heck, I'm telling you.
Laurie is perhaps the most featured new character of season 2. So do we like Laurie or not?
She makes the girls feel comfortable. They're like little birds in a cage and they don't really realize it yet. And then they're like, oh, I can't go anywhere.
Welcome everyone, I'm your host William Yelton, and today we will be talking with 9 strangers who have just finished watching season 2, episode 5 of Euphoria for the first time. Tonight, we hear these Euphoria superfans' raw reactions as they debate, review, and analyze the episode. At the end of the discussion, each panelist will rank the episode 1 to 10, and I will average up the results to give this episode the official rating provided by the men and women on this panel. In the description box below, there are time codes to this discussion, and if you like what you see, please click that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, I present to you this episode of Who Needs a Film Critic? I don't think that it's even debatable. This was by far the darkest episode of Euphoria thus far, and it's not even close. And perhaps the most emotional scene is at the very beginning of the episode. So let's take a look at our first scene of the evening and then discuss.
You're dead to me, Jules.
I don't believe you.
You and me, we're fucking done.
I love you.
No, the fuck you don't. You love being loved. You're a fucking greedy whore who just likes sucking the life out of people.
I love you.
No, you don't. Stop saying that! You don't love me! You fucking left me at my fucking lowest! And a real fucking friend, someone who fucking loves you, wouldn't do some shit like that, Jules.
Who wants to start us off?
She's definitely going to win the Emmy for this because that was phenomenal acting on her part, beating down doors, hitting Gia, hitting her mom, hitting Elliot, and then being in the face of Jules, like that whole, like her going up and down, those pauses in the middle where she's like, crap, I just embarrassed myself, but what am I going to do? Am I going to redeem myself or just keep going? And you could see those little clicks happening in her mind that I was just like, wow. The roller coaster of this episode was just amazing.
Romeo, complete the sentence for me. If Zendaya does not win the Emmy, it's because ...
How much can I curse?
You can curse.
I'm about to say, if Zendaya does not win the Emmy, it's because there's some fucking idiots not doing their fucking job. That's how I felt.
She's an awesome actress. I mean, come on, she grew up on Disney Channel. They're all awesome. I'm just kidding. The girl acted her butt off in this. I felt all of the feelings. Like, I know she really wanted her medicine because she wanted to get high, but I also think she wanted because she knows she's gonna get killed. Like, girl, let me go and at least get my money back. Give me my bag. I don't know. It's sad to say I was on her side. Like, I don't really want her to be on drugs, but I also am upset with how it happened.
Raise your hand if you think that she's more fearful than she is worrying about the next time she's going to use again. 1, 2. All right, Chris, why do you say that?
Because I feel like that's the struggle she's going through alone. You know what I mean? Like, nobody else knows what, like, it's so scary. I mean, for her, like, she's scared for, like, her family, her friends. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it is a combination of both. But truthfully, she's had this suitcase now for a good little minute, based off of how time flies in this show. And I haven't seen her do anything outside of a sale than her doing the drugs herself. And once it's settled in, oh crap, I actually owe money for this kind of thing, then I think that's when it kicked in. But ultimately, that whole scene and scenario, I think it was more based off of her wanting to use drugs.
That whole scene, it took me a few minutes into it to like realize like I've seen people like drunk out of their mind or like whatever that go into like these rage fits and like they just lash like the worst things you could possibly say to everyone around them, and like that was like really hard to watch because they just have to take it like over and over all the time.
The episode hit home in a lot of different ways for me. Partly because of my mom. I definitely had to do some intervention type of stuff. Also, my mom was an alcoholic and was doing the same type of things to us as far as like lashing out. So when I saw Rue doing that in that moment, I kind of just connected that to that. I tried not to take it personally, but it definitely hurts.
Rue brings up the moment that was the cliffhanger of this show. Finally, she talks about being left on those tracks. So what are we supposed to get from that? Like, do we still blame Jules on Rue's relapse?
Yeah, I don't think you can blame Jules.
I don't blame Jules. It's own choice.
Yeah, it
She
took
did.
us back to when her dad died. I mean, that's it. That was
Yes.
it. She was in it
That's
from that
it.
moment when her dad passed away and she couldn't handle it. Like it's intense. I'm telling you, to lose a parent, like, I mean, I can't explain how much that part hit home, because my life has changed after my dad died. Growing up, I would like have like, what am I going to do on the day my parents die? Like, that's just a fear I always had. And then when it came, I was just like, oh my God. So I definitely think that she was just gone after that point.
Does Jules blame herself though, deep down?
Probably.
I don't think she even thought about how that would affect her, but I just feel like for somebody that I care about, knowing that they have issues and something like that might trigger them, I'm probably not going to do it. And that's why I just felt like, yeah, Jules cares about her, but I don't think she cares about her as much as everybody seems to think.
So raise your hand if you agree with Rue when she said you just love being loved.
Needs validation.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
She likes to have someone like give her attention like all the time, whether it's some old dude in a motel that can like be clicked in 2 seconds, like she's gonna go and get it. If it's like the boy that's laying in bed next to her because her girlfriend's off doing something, she's gonna kiss him. Like it's just an instant gratification.
This is what I've been saying the entire time. Like, Jules is an addict for affection and attention. I truly believe that. Not to say that she wasn't really being a genuine friend or genuinely care for Rue. I feel like she really did genuinely care in that moment. But the truth is the truth. She loves being loved.
I feel like most of the stuff she said to Jules is what she has been wanting to say for the longest. And I don't necessarily feel bad for her because she is a user. And I'm going to stand by that. They both are users, but Jules tries to act like she's just so innocent with everything that she's done. Is like, no, you've done some shady shit to Rue, whether she knows about it or not.
I truthfully, I love Jules. I definitely see a part of myself in Jules at that age when I was a teenager, you know, because I mean, as someone that has been out since they were 15 years old, it was always the question about like, who am I and things, like not really understanding my sexual orientation as well as my gender expression, and understanding that the two are two different things and that they don't always go hand in hand. So yeah, I definitely don't subscribe to all the hate. Now, does she do some fucked up things? Absolutely, you know, but she's a teenager. So, I mean, what you expect? And I think that's actually the part when I started to cry, truth be told, is like when like she's just sitting there telling her that, and she's just like, you know, I love you. And it was just like, I felt that because like in that moment, you can't really do much because you know they're not themselves. They're in this completely different state. And so
Yeah, they're not in the right mind type of a thing.
Exactly, you know, so just sitting there and having to take that, all of that, it was tough to see, and that's why I really feel bad for Jules.
Could you raise your hand if you cried during this episode, like Romeo said? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. So obviously this episode did something right.
I'm just curious though, because we've kind of touched on like obviously Rue lashing out on Jules, but I, for some reason, felt like there was more to that lashing out part with the whole "you're dead to me," because I don't know if like Rue kind of assumed or like pieced something together that they have something going on separately, and that's why she got more pissed off. That's what I took from that whole part. So I don't think it was necessarily about her snitching. I thought that had something to do with Elliot.
Well, Aisha, I hate to bring it up, but that does remind me, last week you were kind of leading the charge that Maddie was onto the fact that Cassie and Nate were a thing. And I said, absolutely not. Maddie is way too impulsive and reactionary to hold this information close to her chest. So I kind of have to say I was a little right, which is not always the case, but it does feel pretty good. So while on that subject, let's take a look at the scene where this reveal happens.
This can't make you feel good, Rue. Living like this, can't get clean. I can't do that shit forever.
You don't have to. Just take it one day at a time.
Hey, Cass.
Yeah?
How long have you been fucking Nate Jacobs?
You're fucking Nate? Are you kidding me? I don't even know why she would say that. You're lying.
Can we just table this conversation?
No.
I hate to say that I was right, but I was right. She didn't know.
Whatever.
I've been waiting on Rue to drop this information for the longest, for one. But I didn't know she was gonna drop it like that, so I wasn't prepared.
Yo,
But
as soon as Cassie opened her mouth,
if someone
trying
told
to
me
get
that
out.
my best friend was with my ex, you can tell that Maddie was still trying to have a bit of restraint, although she was upset, because Cassie would not have made it up those stairs. I would have grabbed her by her ponytail and pulled her ass down those steps.
Yes,
She made it to the
her
top,
nails
so
in her
Maddie
face. I was
had
like, what
restraint.
stabs her?
That part.
Yeah, I'm terrified of her nails, to be honest.
She looks so cute though.
I mean, to be honest, Rue was gonna say whatever the hell she could say to create
To get
chaos
out.
and run her ass out the house just like she
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah,
that was
do
the,
that.
that's what I'm saying. She real smart and quick, even going through withdrawal. Because I don't know, it would have took me a minute to devise that plan. Maybe she had been thinking about that the whole time. So she walked downstairs and saw her mom there, but that was some real scheming. I'm finna blow everybody's shit up so I can leave.
She didn't know how she was gonna get out of it, but then like, you know, they see an open door, like they're gonna take it.
Wait,
Can I just say that it was very interesting for me to watch, because when I was watching that scene, I was like, I noticed that it was so funny too, but I would like notice in my mind, but I wasn't laughing, but it was a serious matter. So I think that was like very interesting how the show really like mess up with your brain and how you'd react to things when you're watching. So I think that was like funny, but I wasn't like physically laughing. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah. You're like, this is fucked up. LOL.
When she said, "Hey Cass, can I ask you a question?" I screamed because I said, this girl just don't give no fucks no more.
Nah.
And I felt bad for Cassie, not like, let's get it straight, I still don't like Cassie, but it's just like, I needed to laugh. I had been crying like the first 20 minutes of the episode, so I needed some shit to kind of make me laugh, but she just trying to help the girl, just taking one day at a time, and she just like, bitch, why is you even talking?
No shade, Cassie should have read the room. She got what she deserved, and I wish Maddie would have did more, truth be told. That's what I was really waiting for. Them nails ain't do it justice. It got her right where she needed her to be, but she ain't do what she needed to do.
Wait, but Romeo, when you say that she got what she deserved necessarily, like, do you feel as if Cassie was being patronizing when she said all you need to do is take it one day at a time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The way she just walked in and like looked around and she was like, oh well, you know, one day it's fine. Like, bitch, what? Like, no.
Well, Lexi was in the background taking her notes for her play, so that's why I was laughing. She just
I can't wait for that play to come out.
Shit, she probably said
She already knew what was going on. She was like, oh shit.
Cassie is kind of fucking.
She's kind of clueless, stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
what I
so I don't
thought.
think she was being.
She just said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and she meant it from her heart, and it ended up biting her in the ass.
Yeah, like,
That's what I thought.
Did she mean it from her heart though? I kind of took it as like she just kind of wanted to feel good about herself. Like to Romeo's point, she says it and then looks around like, see, I did a good thing. Like I'm such a good person.
It sounded like so like out of place though. Like she's like, just take it one day at a time. And her mom looks at her and is like, yeah, okay, like cool. Like I don't know if she like understood like the full like everything that was going on.
See, this is why Cassie's stupid, because her mama's stupid too.
Oh my gosh, her mama is the Mean Girls mom.
Hey, you guys, happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're gonna drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
No, thank you.
Like, it's just
Girls keep
crazy.
me. Oh, I hate her.
But I need some goddamn parents to regulate up in here. I know this TV, but it was too many F-bombs and all this shit going on. Like, I would have been snatched up by my lips.
It's no shade. I mean, clearly, as you can tell, my mouth is a little bit filthy now and in my age, but it started back when I was a kid. Like,
But not in front of
I
my
mean,
parents.
once I was 16, yeah, once I was 16, I remember specifically this conversation where me and my father were going back and forth, cursing each other out. And it was just like,
Oh man.
I would have never done that. Like, I just.
I was out of the house before I could cuss in my own bedroom.
I mean, I'm also taller than my father too. And at that time, I was feeling myself and smelling myself. So, I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. So, yeah.
I said it smelled like ass outside at the park, and my mama slapped the hell out of me.
We couldn't say sucks. So
Cussing's the least of these parents' worries.
I'm just saying, maybe they wouldn't be in these damn situations.
If they didn't cuss, you're right. Rue would not become an
if
addict.
they was actually doing some real parenting, like
Yeah.
nobody's
Right.
being a parent.
But is that fair? Like, I feel like Rue's mom is definitely being like, she's trying her best. Is she doing anything wrong?
her mama didn't realize that she was goddamn high all this time. That's not good parenting.
She lost her husband. She's probably
Yeah.
having her own hard time.
Being a single mom is hard as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Could you actually talk about that?
I definitely can put myself in her shoes if I was trying to deal with that. And she has 2 children at that. So I mean, I have a 7-year-old, and it's just me and her. I don't have any help from friends or family. I have to pay for a babysitter to do anything. Her dad lives in a whole other state. So I definitely sympathize with the mom of she is definitely doing the best that she can in that situation.
I'm a
Shahana?
single mom of 3, and it's hard as heck, I'm telling you. And I mean, some of those scenes kind of felt real because sometimes my kids have tantrums. They're smaller, right? But they'll kick and scream and, you know what I mean, and say stuff, and you're just like, oh. So yeah, it's hard, especially like sometimes it's hard for me to make a decision because I'm like, okay, I don't have another person to kind of say, hey, should we do this or should we not let them do this? You know what I mean? Like I have to make all the decisions by myself. And as a parent, I'm like always doubting myself. Like, am I doing it right? Am I making the right decisions?
Well, speaking of mothers, there is another character who possesses some motherly tendencies, but she might not be looking out for Rue's best interest. If you can't put together what I'm putting down, I'm talking about Laurie, the drug lord herself. So I'd like to look at our last scene of the evening and then discuss.
You said you were sober.
I was.
Rue, you're lying to me again. You're going through hell, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now all I've got is morphine.
Well, I can take morphine.
Rue, you don't look like someone who's gonna come up with money real soon. You know, if I was going through withdrawal, I would do anything. It's one of the good parts of being a woman. Even if you don't have money, you've still got something people want.
I want an episode on her.
So creepy. I love her.
So this is interesting because Laurie is perhaps second to Elliot, the most featured new character of season 2. So do we like Laurie or not? You know, I'm curious. So you should all see a poll on your screen. Click yes, you do like Laurie's character, or no, you do not like Laurie's character, and then we will analyze the results. 56% of the panel says yes, they like Laurie. 44% say no. It's a divided panel here. All right, so raise your hand if you were one of the people that said yes. All right, let's hear from Chris. Why do you like Laurie?
Despite the fact that she's very scary, I think she's like slowly turning into like the villain that we're looking for. I think I'm starting to get more interested in her, like what's her agenda. And she's very creepy. I like the way she talks though. Like I really want to talk like her. I don't know.
Why do you want to talk like her?
Because like even though she's very calm and speaks very slow, I think she's very intimidating by doing that. So I think that's like a very like useful tool that I can use to intimidate people too. So yeah.
Maddie, you were also raising your hand?
Oh, it's just like the way that she doesn't react to anything, that you're like always waiting for her to like say something or like do something crazy, but she never really does, I guess. And then you're just like, Okay, it's fine.
I love this character. I think Laurie is like the definition of don't give any fucks. Truth be told, sorry, this is Diva. Say hi, Diva. She is not your stereotypical gangster or like who you would think would be a drug lord, if you will. Not all drug dealers or drug lords look the same, and we got Laurie, and she's low-key a badass.
Drug dealers and bad people come in all different shapes and sizes. That's a good lesson to learn, kids. Okay, so raise your hand if you said that you do not like the character of Laurie. All right, Markeisha, we haven't heard from you in a bit. What's up?
For one, I just can't trust anyone who has zero emotions. I mean, she is just flatline. It's too much. And then her tone, I don't have the patience for it. Okay, it literally makes my skin crawl every time she's on the scene. Now, I agree with Romeo as far as like understanding the stereotypes with the drug dealers and all that. I do like that aspect of her character, but I don't like when she speaks, and I just don't trust her.
She just talks like this, and it's just no dissonance. You can't tell, straight face, like, you lied to me. You said you were sober, and you're not. Just like, it's hard, like, I can't. I just
I love it so much, and you do it so well.
I don't trust her. I don't like her. Like when she got like the morphine, she was like, I don't have morphine, but I do have morphine. Morphine. Like I thought she was gonna like give her enough to where she's like completely out of it, not just to where it like numbs the pain. And then she was gonna like sell her to some sex traffickers. And I also found it interesting with like the birds too, like birds in cages, and it's kind of like imagery for like Rue in her cage of like her addiction, and then also with like, or being more literal where it's like, okay, now she's gonna be in a cage because she's gonna be sold off.
You might not like the character, but do you love to hate the character?
Yeah. I like that she's a female drug lord. That kind of is breaking the stereotype of like what the typical drug lord is. But I don't like that she was willing to sex traffic Rue. So I didn't like that aspect either.
This lady has been plotting, like what Lauren said. She literally told her, like, when I first met you, I knew that you were going to be in my life for a long time. There's a door with a lock on it. Sound like somebody was scratching. On top of that, she said, you don't look like you're going to come up with the money. But the good thing is, when women don't have money, they always have something that people want. And that shit, like, I hated that whole scene. And that's why I don't fuck with her as a character. I don't care how sweet she sounds. I don't play with, like, sex trafficking and all that shit. I mean, I don't fuck with anything when it comes to, like, somebody taking advantage of a woman. Like, I would not be surprised if she set her up, because she pricked her all those times.
Yeah, like, why did she jab her so many times?
Get her hooked so that she can fucking come back to her at some point.
That could have been the lucrative part of her business, actually, is the trafficking versus the drug dealing. The drug dealing may get her, some type of connections or business and things like that, but unfortunately, who knows? Like, that might be the largest part of her organization.
And then my last question on Laurie is I teed up this whole scene saying, in a way, she seems kind of motherly. This whole episode, Rue is running. No one is allowing her to basically speak her truth until she sees Laurie, which is horrible. But in a weird way, I don't know. I felt super weird by watching the scene.
Because she makes the girls feel comfortable that they're just like, they're like little birds, like just in a cage, and they don't really realize it yet. And then they're like, oh, I can't go anywhere.
People getting abducted, they normally have a woman approach the women.
Absolutely.
Because guard down.
It's extremely common for someone to take on a role of put in a position where you can trust me, or, I'm listening to you and I'm giving you great advice. That's typically how they act. So I guess for me, I see it from a different perspective, where I've watched it and I've seen stories and heard about stories where typically they do the same exact thing.
I have to agree with that too, because especially considering Rue is underage, and in the business, the youngest you are, the more expensive like you become. Not that I know of, like I've seen movies obviously, but like we don't even know, we're not even sure like how long she stayed at the house. Like all we know is like, because time is so weird in the show, so like she could have been there for like 3 nights. We don't know.
For such an enterprise, the fact that she got away is pretty insane.
That's why I'm like, do you really think that like there's nothing else going on there. The fact that she got out like blows my mind.
Like they're pretty bad
It's also a show.
at their job if they lock all these doors, but they don't lock this window.
Listen, Rue was a super saiyan on this episode. I mean, she had powers that I didn't even think was possible.
Oh my God. The fact that she ran for so long. We gotta talk about her endurance tonight.
Like she was on it. Like it was the smarts, like it just kicked in for some reason. I think it was just that when you really want something so bad that
Don't
you
get it.
Yeah, and
I thought she would have at least tried.
Also Fez, the way he just like threw her out, he was like, shut it down. No, it's not happening. That was a great scene too.
I thought the most interesting parts of this whole episode. She's running out to the road. All the cars are driving, and we hear her narration saying, "God, please don't let me die here."
Mhm.
Yet all we've heard from her over and over again is, "I'm ready to go."
That whole scene, all I could think about was Frogger. Like, I don't know if anybody remembers the game Frogger from PlayStation, but I was like, she's scheming through these cars. I'm like, go Frogger, go.
Her sister still loves her, and a lot of her friends still love her. Like, she has to realize that. Even like after she was going at the beginning of the episode where she's like, "Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that." But then, you know what I mean? Like, she has to realize that these people do care about her and that they do love her, and that doing that, like, not necessarily saying that doing that, but like if she were to die, that would actually really hurt them.
And the people that try to kill themselves, say if it's them jumping off of a bridge or something like that, and then they end up surviving. 9 times out of 10, I feel like those are the people that said, on my way down, as I was heading towards the ocean, I realized I don't want to go.
Well, nobody that commits suicide actually wants to die, right? They want the pain to end. That's the whole thing about that. And like with Rue, I think it was just a genuine rock bottom where she like sat in the bathtub and she got undressed in this lady's drug addict house. Like, God knows how many dudes around, and like locks on the doors. And when she woke up, she was like, realized she didn't want to. I think that's when she was like a little more clear-minded and like really did not want to be in the cage.
I had a psychiatrist once say, and it was really profound. She said, "You don't commit suicide, you commit a crime. You die from suicide, just like you die from cancer, because it's like a disease, you know, like you're sick, you're mentally ill."
Guys, Rue's the main character again. It's crazy. Who would have thought? All right, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to review. Each of you has sent me your ratings for this episode, 1 to 10, 1 meaning you hated it, and 10 being you absolutely loved it. I've averaged all the numbers together, and it is time for me to reveal the results. Tonight, the panel has rated this episode as a 9.5, which puts this at the #1 spot of the season thus far.
I rated it an 8. I liked the episode.
Lowest rating of the group.
Sorry. I liked it. I couldn't say I loved it because I want more. I'm excited for next week. I want everything to just explode now. More drama, especially with Cassie.
Bring it on. What's coming? Believe it.
I give it a 9 because I think finally a lot of the secrets are out and a lot of the storylines are finally like getting together, but there's always room for improvement.
I rated it a 10. It was amazing. Obviously an Emmy-worthy performance, and I just love how they showed not only the true struggles of addiction, depression, but also the effect it has on the people around them and how to deal with it, and kind of it's breakthrough because nobody really knows how to deal with it. I feel like it's going to show us this journey of how to help people as much as we can, because sometimes we don't know what to do, and hopefully this show will help many people, you know, either heal themselves or help other people heal.
I rated it a 10. This was, in my opinion, the best episode of the entire series, and that's just me. But the acting, the music score, the cinematography, finally being able to just get a glimpse into the humanity of somebody who is an addict. I feel like most shows do very like Hollywood type portrayals of people who are addicts, and this was something where I don't personally know a drug addict like this, but it was more relatable to me out of all the shows and movies that I've seen about drug addiction.
All right, that concludes today's discussion on season 2, episode 5 of Euphoria. Come back next week to hear what some of these panelists and more have to say about episode 6. I would like to thank the panelists for giving me their time tonight, and to the viewers watching at home, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are also on the podcast app, so type "Who Needs a Film Critic" to get those episodes downloaded straight to your phone. That's it for tonight. Good night.